Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik again, and today we can finally record the next battle phase. This will be the battle phase for turn 18, starting at 10th of January, so we will go for 11th and enter January 12th at the end. We best start immediately with this and don't waste much time. So we can maybe first shortly talk about the situation, what happened before. We had the cruiser battle, the night engagement, with Dojo's cruiser force. On paper, I think they had double weight, maybe even more. But the better Japanese training and motivation and the blessing of the emperor allow them to, you can say, maybe more or less win this battle without much of a scratch. The second battle was this transport slaughter engagement. This was a slaughter. But these two engagements consumed all our ammunition, mostly of our heavy artillery or guns and torpedoes, so we was left with only secondary equipment or secondary ammunition for our guns, so only the 3 or 4 inch guns, and that is normally not enough to fight a cruiser. And then the Exeter, the heavy cruiser supported by a light cruiser, had a second engagement with us, and in that engagement we lost the destroyer, and both our cruisers get damaged. One very strongly, and the other one had a tough time, but still okay. So this was more or less the Battle of Rangoon. We also saw that our second carrier fleet arrived at this area, but was unlucky sailing inside a very bad weather front. So there was some thunderstorm, and this more or less cancelled all flight operations. Only some scouts was possible to leave the carrier, but no strike force. And so we had no carrier strike last turn. We had also some bombing in China, some battle in China, but I think this is slowly. In China we more or less try to still closing the pockets in the south and in the north, and the rest of the area was more or less quiet. I don't really push too much in Dutch Indonesia so much, and also the Battle of Rabaul is over with ease. We kicked him out, and now I only build up Rabaul first and try to manage the next invasion fleet going for Port Moresby directly, more or less, and skip all the rest between. So this is more or less a situation. I think they also, Dojo, sent some fighters to China. We will see if there's more resistance in the future. And my air force in near Rangoon is still building up, so I'm still not ready to strike against Rangoon airport. So now we start and see what happened. So you can see this is one of my very small navy detachment. It's have only an attack value of 10 or 15, so they are really only to capture undefended bases, or maybe only kill the last resistance. But you better really try to conquer every base on the map, only to make sure that the enemy is not hiding something there. And you always get 1 or 2 points, maybe like this. Okay, here we have our second cruiser formation, because I had two cruiser formation. This is now one heavy cruiser, two light cruisers, and two destroyers. And here we see we're making a torpedo run out of 2,000 yards like last time. Means a surprise attack with torpedoes. And we see one torpedo after the next hitting the Exeter, and I think the Allies, the British commander, not even realize that we are here. And there's a third torpedo hitting and explosion. And 3 torpedoes hits in, let's say, in 1 minute. And of course there's nothing can save this ship. So the Exeter last time gave us so much trouble. And just now, in a minute, 3 torpedoes hitting, destroying, sinking the Exeter. So one more heavy cruiser is dead. Now we're hitting with 20 centimeter guns. And of course, light cruiser have only protection against the destroyer armament. So we don't sink this light cruiser, but we at least hit it with a 20 centimeter gun. This will make, I think, a lot of damage. We can see this. There was also a scout airplane on the heavy cruiser, so this is dead. 3 torpedo hits, no chance, dead. And the Cape Town get 120 centimeter shell hit. This also will make a lot of damage. At least it starts some fire. This is already a perfect start. It is a night fight engagement. There was thunderstorms, again, thunderstorms and even less moonlight. So the visibility is still again only 2000. So, and we find each other. You can see becoming closer, and then oh, there is something. We see them. Let's start the torpedoes and see the explosion, firework. So, success. Of course, we are Japanese. We only allow success. Now we can see some bombardment fleet. I can speed this up. Here is still one of the main hubs for Ally. Here's the air base from the Dutch, I think. Originally this is a Dutch base, so it's a Dutch Air Force, and normally from this base you can control all this area. At least you can scout it and can see any ship movement if you have enough scout planes there. It's a really good location, so normally try to get rid of this base. I try to use cruiser fleets. You can see this is a mixed bunch of for a bombardment you can take anything you want, but normally heavy cruisers and battleships are the best, because the 10 and 12 centimeter or 14-15 centimeter guns are normally not enough firepower to really do a lot of short bombardment damage. Anyway, the plan is still make sure that he is really to make sure that there's no airplane left to operate. The lower the morale, hurts them a little. You can see now we destroy already stuff, so I think there's no supply left. There's nothing left, so this base is normally ready to assault. So we can normally send some Navy guard unit here to get rid of the base, that we can start our own base here to get a forward position and scout the area. But I think there's really not more much to scout, because Dojo, yeah, looks like he run away with all what he can do to Australia. He played safe, of course. He can normally not hold this area, so he give it up. So he tried to not lose too much. There we just saw this our 2 cruisers. I tried to bring them to the port, and we saw that Japanese damage control was not working very successful. Yeah, can happen. This is the next smaller base in Dutch New Guinea. We only try to rise the Japanese flag, and then we will go to the next base. And we don't use this base. I think no one will ever use this kind of bases. You only conquer them, say, okay, it's ours, and thank you, bye bye. Yeah. Now it's the beginning for the scout operation. My second carrier fleet is more or less, I don't know why you cannot see it on the map, but it's normally, I think, 6 hex east of Colombo. I put it exactly 6 hex east of Colombo, so that I really can have this area of in range to strike. It is always a little a gambling with the weather. Carrier forces, I think, are very sensitive against bad weather. I mean, of course, makes sense. If there's bad weather, it's nearly impossible to take off and land on a carrier. Or if you try this, you will have a lot of ops losses. So I think the commander will always say, oh no, if there's really a storm, thunderstorm, something like this, he better call off all strikes and say, before I lose 20 or 30% of my airplanes only in the try to start, I call it off and try it another day. Here's my sweeps. I mean, I won't control the skies of China, so it's my duty to get rid of this Chinese, Russian enemy airplanes. And of course, I mean, they are normally no match. The Zeros are much faster, they have much more firepower. So, and if we have good pilots, then normally, I mean, in the Chinese Air Force really lack everything. The airplanes are outdated, the pilots are not well trained, the base equipment, the airport aviation support is normally also very, very low, so you cannot operate a lot of airplanes from one location. So, yeah. I don't know if Dojo did a good job to defend the Chinese skies. I don't know. I don't know if the Japanese are only too good or the Chinese are too bad. Anyway, we can see that at least one is down, dead, or destroyed at least. Again, because we fight in the skies of his city and we destroy the airplane, the pilot can still jump out, so he maybe the pilot is not dead, but the airplane is destroyed. And I think he will not get many replacements for the Chinese Air Force. So the Allies, so far I know, cannot send spare airframes to other nations. So you can only move whole squadrons. Then you must, if they're restricted, you must buy them always out, and then you must pay always the political points. And the biggest issue is really the infrastructure of China. Supplies are in shortage, aviation support is in shortage, the airfields are small, and so on and so on. Anyway, one more kill for some Zero fighters. And yeah, we sweeping normally always the front line and everything what is in range. I will sweep again and again, only to make sure that I lure out his fighters, to give my bombers more or less a free run. The other option is that you more or less say, I always use the fighters to escort the bombers. But normally I like more the idea of free hunt. Means you send your fighters out and then the fighters try to engage the enemy fighters. Like in the Battle of Britain, it's the beginning, the Germans also did this more or less. They say, we send 50% of our fighters out for free hunt and the rest we will make escort. but this is only working if you if your bombers are not engaging too far in the rear of the enemy, because if it's for logistic reasons. If your bombers go very deep, if we start a bomber campaign here in this area, then he can use fighters from all this area. So I must make sure that these bombers have escort. This is also a tactic. I try always only make close range combat support. So everything what is in range of my army forces I will engage. But I will not make any strategic bombardment in the rear of him. And here's again 9 zeros, and this is the I-15. So the I-15, you can see this is really more or less, I don't know, maybe developed in 1930, maybe in 1931, 32. It was a good airplane, but latest in 1935 it was outdated. The other Russian Chinese airplane is the I-16, but the I-16 in the Key 27 of the Japanese army, or the Cloud, the A5, the machine you get before, I mean, we have both the A6 and the A5, but the A5 and the I-16 are equal. But this is not the I-16, this is only the I-15. So this guy you can normally always easily kill. He have no range, no punching power, no armor. It is a very shitty airplane. But if this I-15 can catch any our bombers have no armor, so even this guy have only light machine guns, he can still hurt our bombers. But in a fighter engagement, they are very useless, more or less. Sometimes they can have a lucky hit, but normally no. So now our bombardment starts. This is his army coming out of his bigger base cities, and I think he tried to move here down, or this area. At least he tried to block this road, because this road is already blocked. If he can block this road, then all my forces are completely cut off supplies. So we must make sure that this road is open, and better also open this road. And yeah, we have some damaged stuff, yeah, but like I said before, these are all outdated airplanes. So I can use them only for purely training, or I consume them over time in this bomber campaign, and still hurt him. So I do this, I train my pilots, maybe I will run out of airplanes sooner or later, but I have already the Helen in research, and in 2-3 months we can have the Helen, and I normally really want all army bombers operating with the Helen. Okay, next battle. Yeah, bombardment again, of course. This was the forces we kicked out last time. We had here a battle, or here or there, but they run away. Chinese like to run away. So we hit nothing, but they cannot make easy rest and drink tea. They always scared about Japanese bombers are coming. This is his bigger forces here in the source, I think 30,000 and 50,000, so together, if they can link up, this is a strong force. We will see how easy we can kill them, but my main hope is still that they're running out of supplies, because I think we block, this is really the last road is open, and I'm not even more sure if I not block here. I think I also block this, so maybe this road is open, but now we block here. So, and if you don't have a road, there is nearly no supply coming more. This is only hit every unit at least once per day to make sure that they have no rest. They always scared. They always get alarm. They always must hide. It is more or less maybe a strike against the enemy's morale. And you can, any training and any equipment and even any supplies you can give a unit, if the unit have no morale or very low morale, then you must only push them a little and they will break. More bombardment. And scouting. These guys have cameras, so you always can hear normally, I think, before the attack or after the attack. I mean, I'm not sure if this I really don't know. If he first makes a picture before, but normally it makes sense he bomb, then you make a picture and fly back. Anyway, you can hear always this camera click click sound. Here again, making some. And this is now our carrier fleet. It's now in position. We have still bad weather, but it's only heavy cloudy. And keep in mind, this is the second carrier fleet. So the main punching power is coming from 2 fleet carriers, and I think we have in total 2 support and 2 escort carriers. But most of that guys from the escort carrier and the support carriers, they are still not really finished with their training. So their abilities to hit something are not so great. They're okay, they have more or less like a skill level of 50 or around 50, 55. But 2 fleet carriers, I think they have a skill level of 65. And this is already a big improvement. Still, I can keep them in more or less in training mode, and I need maybe 1 month to train them up before I use them. Or what I do now is more or less I let them try to hit something. This also gives experience. Maybe some guys will fail to land and crash and we'll have more operational losses, but at least we can try, why not? And you can see here that hit but no explosion. But here's a torpedo. A torpedo for a corvette is normally the end. Again, keep in mind, these are, I think, maximum 1,000 ton ships. So they have no armor, and there's a second torpedo. And to get rid of these corvettes are really like submarines and corvettes. They don't have many victory points, but they can make a lot of trouble. The enemy submarines can trouble for your cargo, tanker, support lines. Maybe not now, but in 6 months they're starting maybe. And the corvettes are submarine hunters, and they're really good submarine hunters. So if I can sink them, I'm very happy. You can see here, this is only escort, the zeros only make escorts, and we have here roughly 21 torpedo bombers and 19 dive bombers. And we bombed 1 cargo ship, this is a bigger cargo ship. We sunk 1 corvette, this we spare, and the light cargo ship is more or less dead. Then we also was some equipment on board, so not bad. You can also here see again, they all starting with 8,000 feet because this is our cruise altitude, and the dive bomber will come in 8,000, then throw drop the bomb, semi armor armor piercing. So this is like a multi-role bomb. He can hit and penetrate some armor, but it is not a pure army penetration bomb, it's a semi-armor penetration bomb. And you can see that then the torpedo bombers go automatically. I don't know if you can see this at the beginning. This is a report. They say, okay, we see the enemy coming in 9,000 feet, but I come in 8,000. This is never accurate. They see they have 6-minute reaction time. 6 minutes is, I think, not so much to really organize some defense. And of course, they don't have much defense. But they're going down and attack at 200 feet. Or maybe 100 feet. I don't know how accurate this is. Maybe this is really accurate. But then they're going down to 200 feet, dropping the torpedo. And then they hit something or they don't hit something. I mean, we have here 3 torpedo hits and the rest is bomb hits. Okay. This is the second airstrike. Keep in mind, this carrier fleet have, I think, in total roughly 250 airplanes. And 90% of these airplanes are free to attack and 10% are for scouting. Here we have a bigger cargo ship. Let's see if we can hit something. Oh yeah, torpedo hit. Nice. I will not skip this now because maybe some of you guys really want to see this completely. And this is a real event. This is not only bombing in China, because in bombing in China you only throw bombs and then there's nothing happening. Here we really can see now if what unit is coming and if they hit something and how they fail or how they will be successful. There, one guy go down. So you can hear always the splash, means there's a torpedo hitting the water, but if you don't get the second explosion sound, means he throw it in the water but miss. And here we have a 250 kilo bomb. Bang. So this semi-armor bomb of the whale bomber is the bomb will always detonate if it hits something. But if it hits a heavy cruiser or a battleship, normally it says only hit armor and nothing else happened, because it cannot penetrate the armor and then it's exploded on the surface. Sometimes you're lucky and then then the structure damage or like this, but most of the time they only say hit armor, but that's all. So like bends off. But I mean, for everything what is not a heavy cruiser or battleship, the bomb is still okay. It's okay to hunt down cargo ships, tanker, support destroyers, but destroyers are so fast and they are flexible. It's hard to hit them. Okay, here we can now see this is our units. We 2 by damage by flak. Whatever we hit here, we sunk here 1 cargo ship, 1 local minesweeper, and 1 troop transport is hit and a little on fire. And I think the cargo ship had some Hurricane on board. So we destroyed 9 Hurricane guys. Not bad. Here again you can see that how we strike, what was the equipment. And again, these are 12 airplanes and 1 airplane transport 1 torpedo. It's not that this whole group transport 1. So this, what you can see under this, is always the equipment per airplane. So 1 torpedo, 1 250 kilo bomb. So now the third airstrike. And you can see I always, because of course I really don't know what is here and here for air equipment. And the zeros, you can use also zeros to make a strafing attack, because the zero have a 20mm gun. Oh, there we just lost the torpedo bomber. But the 20mm gun is really only it's never enough normally to sink something. I mean, it's maybe good against submarines because the submarine have a very sensitive floating damage. They really, if they take water, they cannot dive more, and the submarine without diving is a easy kill for other stuff. Yeah, this was a little unlucky. I mean, this is unlucky because this is but we hit the enemy. This is a minesweeper. But this is not a local minesweeper, this is a long or open sea, long distance minesweeper. So a little better, more value. And this guy had some machine gun or whatever, and then yeah, you make a little hit, a lucky hit, because these guys have no armor. So shoot the pilot in the face and then he's dead. But we get revenge, and one torpedo hit, one kill. So yeah, and now we get more scouting. More sweeping, but there's no guy, no enemy airplane. So more scout information. So we can see we are here. These are the heavy clouds. This is the thunderstorm clouds. And last time we was in the thunderstorm clouds, and then you cannot make any air operation. But now we are only in heavy clouds, and this will not impact our ability to launch a strike. This will make it, I think, only more complicated for enemy scout to find you, because I mean, I really don't know if the game really simulates this, but I think there's the level of clouds, and if your scout is flying above this clouds, then the clouds will cover your fleet. If you fly under the clouds, then you of course can see everything. So I'm not really completely sure if this game will simulate it like this way, like you are above the clouds or under the clouds, and depending you can see something, yes or no, or it will only say, okay, because of heavy clouds, there's a 20% chance that even if there is a scout, airplane cannot find you. I'm not so sure. And here we can see now, these are our Betty guys. They try still to hit these torpedo boats, but and you can see one Betty carried 250 kilograms semi-armor piercing and 4 60 kilogram general purpose bombs. Because I think it's a PT boat, they have no armor at all, so it doesn't matter. This bomb or this bomb, they will always damage this ship. But so one bomber will throw 6 bombs, but we still hit nothing, and we have 13 of this. So a lot of bombs, but no hits, because it's 8,000 feet, and this is torpedo boats, and I mean, this is 2 small targets still. But we can try and learn, and one day maybe we will be successful. And I don't know, the Nell guys, they say, okay, forget this torpedo boats, we try to... This is now Cebu. And we make some attack on this Philippine infantry division. There's some enemy infantry forces we attack, but we hit nothing. Here you can see now it's only the 250 kilogram general purpose. And this is a ongoing Malayan bombardment. And we hit or we don't hit. Sometimes we're lucky, sometimes we're not lucky. But we use this for training, and these are jungle guys. I want that they come out of the jungle, and then I will attack them. So no hit again. And here we can see the Key 21. They transport 4 250, so 1 ton bomb load. But we hit nothing. Okay, the next carrier strike. Now we have only some dive bomber, and there's a Cape Town. And we try to hit the Cape Town. I think the Cape Town was with Exeter together, and we hit it with a 20 centimeter gun. Oh, now we have a 251 bomb hit. And now it's on fire again. And there's a second bomb hit. So you can see deck armor penetration, and then we hit a massive explosion, and there's a third bomb hit. Now belt armor hit. So belt armor hit means the bomb more or less not hit the ship from above, so more or less drop maybe in the water and then hit the belt. But it was not possible to penetrate the side armor. So because the side armor of the light cruiser is much stronger than the deck armor. More or less, I think if the game say belt armor hit, it's a near miss, because it's not normally really possible to drop a bomb and then, I mean, hit from the side a ship. This is very special. Anyway, official, we have 4 bomb hits. The ship is not on fire, but still no heavy fire. And because we know this is an ally ship, so I think they can get rid of the fire, but they are still heavy damage. So I think the speed is slowed down. Maybe it will sink, we will see. Yeah. This is not bad. 1 heavy cruiser damage, 1 light cruiser heavy damage. No, the heavy cruiser is already sunk. So and now we damage a light cruiser again heavily. Or too much heavy, light. This is a massive 40 torpedo bombers attacking the harbor of Colombo, but not the port. It's only the harbor. I mean, it's the outside port harbor of area. It's not a port attack. So these ships are not docked. These are undocked ships. If the ships are docked, you get this other overview. Then it show you more or less a harbor, like in Pearl Harbor at the beginning or wherever. Then you always can see there's a harbor and the ships are docked in the harbor. And this is now open sea still, because you can see these ships are in the open sea. There, I don't know, we have no other symbol just now, but there's normally a symbol that their ships are docked. These are non-docked ships. So we can make a torpedo attack if we have torpedoes. And here this is a corvette. And I don't know how many. I think this guy is also dead. This is a cruiser mine layer. So these are the heavy mine layers. They normally you can use them to mine your own ports, or you can try to come close to the enemy port, like here in Calcutta. If I throw maybe mines here, because mines normally you cannot throw mines in deep water. This is not working. If you throw mines in deep water, after 2-3 turns they already disappeared all. So you can only throw mines in shallow water. I mean, or in your port, or in the enemy port. The problem is if you want to go to the enemy port to throw mines inside with a surface ship, this can backfire. So you can best use submarines to mine enemy ports, or you use this cruiser mine layers to, I don't know, make a fast sneak, say okay, mine this area and try to run away. But I think this mine war in this game is not really working very well. In this game, mine war is more defense. You can mine your own harbor, and this is most what the people are doing, because the rest is not working. In reality, it was totally different. I mean, you also have defense mines, but the Germans, and especially I think the Germans, they use a lot of submarine mining in everywhere, and they sunk a lot with mines. I think maybe they sunk with mines equal what they sunk with torpedoes. So anyway, we can see here now the cruiser mine layer get 1 bomb hit, is on heavy fire, but it's in the port, so I think this will not be impact much. but we get rid of this civilian troop transporter, torpedoes thing, and this corvette is also dead. So this is not bad, and we can see here, looks good, we can see 50-50, looks like 50% of the guys, I don't know how guns can, I mean, this is only some calculation, like half of the guys, they still, maybe, they reached the beach and survived, and the vehicles also, I don't know, anyway, destroyed and disabled. And you can also see here now that 15 torpedo bombers coming with torpedoes, and these guys, they had no torpedoes more, because there's always a limitation. If you supply your carriers, and then there's a number of torpedoes every carrier can transport maximum, there's a limitation, so you cannot non-stop running torpedo attacks from a carrier. There's two limitations: the total amount of operations you can fly and the stockpile of torpedoes. And more or less this means this guy is now using bombs because the carrier is running out of torpedoes. But we can carry 250 bombs. The dive bombers only can take one of these bombs. So this torpedo bomber still carry double the bomb loads than the dive bomber. And here we can also see this is the first generation of this torpedo bombers, but they are only a little slower, so they're okay. Very similar. You can see the torpedo hit cargo ship, but looks like this is a bigger cargo ship, but still not a real big one. Maybe this is a 3,000 or 4,000 ton cargo ship. This looks like a big troop transporter, but somehow my guys don't want to hit them. Again, nothing. There we get a hit. And you can see always where they're coming from. Kaga is still our professional, high experience dive bomber units. They have much higher chance to hit something. And again. How you want to call this? We call this slaughter, or we call this professional warfare, or I don't know. I mean, it's a free run for us because looks like there is no cap. I don't know if Dojo. I mean, if we're lucky, there's a thunderstorm just over Colombo or like this, and his cap is forced grounded, or he gives them free and he don't expect their carriers. So far I saw no enemy fighters in this guy, so we're making really a free run. All our zeros are only coming and say, oh, I see nothing, I only see enemy ships. Okay, we take off, we scout around, we're waiting, but nothing is coming. And our bombers say, thank you, this is a nice day, only some flak. Yeah, but you can see not even one ship gets damaged. It's a completely free hit. So yeah, okay, this guy only is a little on fire. This cargo ship is dead. This is heavy fires but not damage. I don't know. This guy is on fire and heavy damage. Maybe it will sink. And we can see again guns and vehicles. And we can see here the dive bombers all coming with one bomb, and our 3 torpedo bombers had still some torpedoes left. So 15 torpedo bombers without escort. So in reality this will be dangerous, but I think your carrier commander, task force commander, he will choose. First the first is the scouting. The scouts tell you, okay, what we can see, and then the commander will say, okay, this task force I will send the amount of airplanes, The commander chooses. You cannot choose anything. This is really by the commander. And he will choose what airplane he sent where, how many, how much escort. So this is sometimes a little lucky or unlucky. Maybe like if he's right, he will send the right types and amount of aircraft to finish the task force. Here we can see now the guys want to attack something, but there is nothing left. Already the task force is dead. There was only one troop transporter left, and we get 3 torpedo hits, and yeah, we sent 15 torpedo bombers, but yeah, some guys maybe not even had a chance to hit something. So they will go back to their carrier and say, oh yeah, next day. Better, I mean, at least, of course, better you send too many airplanes than too less. But also, if you have multiple targets, now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 targets. So the commander must choose what is primary target, and so on and so on. Again, 18 torpedo bombers, and this is a local minesweeper. Now you can see this guy is using only bombs. But we get a hit on a local minesweeper. This is 1 or 2 points ships. This is target practice. I mean, the ships can do nothing. They're only hunting mines. So, but our guys can come and say, okay, this is a very small ship. If we can get a hit on this ship out of 8,000 feet, then we have good skills. And they not only hit in once, they hit many times, multiple hits. And now it's done. Over. Sunk. So you can see out of 8,000 feet, we are attacking with the 250 kilo bombs, and we get 3 hits. Not bad. I mean, what we sunk is not important, but our guys can say, we did it. So, more scouts. Always make recon on every important base where the enemy can maybe concentrate forces. So, or if you want to strike something, you always better make some pictures to know what is there exactly. And at least you can gather additional information about the situation. That you always try to get a clear picture about the situation. Informations are really very important in warfare. This is now a battleship bombardment unit. My 2 naval guard units are moving up to Davao, and I only want to make sure that they more or less they walk in the Philippines, they throw away the weapons and say, please stop shooting on us, we give up, quite right. Okay, repair, 12 hours is done. Yeah, this is my small task force I sent from Manila to get rid of this unit here. We bombed them already heavily, and now I only want to make sure that I have this base, because my next task will be to get Clarkfield, and I don't want a surprise. I don't want that the Americans are running away in this direction. I mean, maybe it will be not so bad for us, then we split the forces, but anyway, I only want to make sure it is we push them in this direction. That I don't want to move west, east, west, east, west, east again. So, and still I also need some more time to prepare my units. Manila, we had 3 heavy battles, so some of the guys are really burnt out. And so I use this time to make this small engagement. You can see, I mean, This is I mean, you can see 540 to 1. There's we not even lost one guy. I think they threw away their arms completely. They're destroyed. This is the end of this force. This is this task force is driving north to get to conquer at least this crossway and make then a decision, go north or go east. And here is also nothing left, so the Japanese forces in China have so far a successful run. Again, nearly 200 to 1. Some guys say maybe get a mosquito bite, and the Chinese only, I don't know, they're winning. And this is only one of these islands I conquer. There's nothing, so it's free. Take it, rise the flag, send a mail back to the emperor and tell him that we were successful, and he can he don't must worry anything. Then we get now moving of stuff. I think that we can speed up here all. Only moving, upgrading some stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Calculation. This base changed the owner without any of our actions. They only just realized, okay, the Japanese are coming. We better rise the flag by ourselves, so we don't get trouble. Okay. Sometimes you can move, here you cannot move. So I think this is here Porta Princesa, these 2 torpedo boats, and this is a heavy cruiser formation. Try to get rid of them. But they are too small. It's in the night. The moonlight is not more so strong, and we try to hit them, but was not really successful. Yeah, this is the night, nothing more happened. Long time our submarines found nothing more. So I don't know, I think Dojo regroup all his cargo fleets. Maybe we must also think about to how we want to position our submarines in the future. But so far we can say I think we lost not one submarine. Some gets damaged, and we lost of course these 5 mini submarines. But like I said, the mini submarines are for me so far totally useless, because you can really only use them at the first day in Pearl Harbor, and after that I would say forget it. It's nothing. This is again he have some hunter groups here, I think, and so I must maybe move all my submarines to a new line, maybe more far away, or I maybe will also take 50% of my submarines back and send them all to Australia, because this is nearby his base, and I really have only the submarines. If I have them near to Australia, I can maybe also use cruiser force and the carrier, my first carrier fleet, to support the submarines. And yeah, at the end we fight against a round of Australia. So we get 3 hits. Yeah. So this is now January 11, and our carrier making some scout information. You always see this sometimes that there are some. The scouts always. I mean, if there's a scout, you have some. I use normally torpedo bombers and the dive bombers for scouting, and they carry also bombs. So, and if they see something, they try to make some on the way hit. So their main purpose is normally to scout around, but and if they see something, then they drop a bomb, and then they sometimes they say, okay, we see something, and we throw a bomb, and we also hit. But we don't get a battle report for this. This is really like only so, and it's only one plane, so there's no backup information. So if this hits are real or not, it's very fog of war. But you get this information like see it, and I see a ship and I hit the ship. Maybe true, maybe not. And more bombing. More sweeping. But nothing left. Ah, one more Russian. One more of this useless I-15s. Critical hit and dead, or destroyed at least. But looks like there's a second Chinese guy coming up and want to fight our superior Japanese Zero fighters. And you just saw that his machine gun hit our Zero, so one of our Zeros gets damaged. But at the end there was no match. So we normally kill both of them, but in this report you can see again only one. But like I said, the battle animation, what you see is more reliable than this one. So normally we killed both, but at least we kill one, let's say this. Okay, the Bettys again. They try to hit this torpedo boat. And again, nothing. Also nothing. No more bombardment. Yeah. And more. And again. We destroy also some stuff. Not only disabled. And nothing stops us. So I don't know if there's if Dojo will maybe send more flying tigers to China, or if we have something else. But so far it looks like the air war in China is again, I mean, we dominate the skies. This little Chinese air force is already giving up, I don't know. Dojos, I think the Dojos only had once a battle, poor guys. Every day they flying out and never they find something. Totally empty. Junction I have nothing. But I will still keep the sweeping up. At least for one more week. First, I have normally not much else for them to do. I mean, I can bring them now to Rangoon or some other area, but this needs also 1 or 2 days. And in the moment I send them to Rangoon, then maybe Dojo will reactivate his fighters. So I normally keep 1 or 2, maybe 3 fighter wings in central China to make sure that there's no accident happening. Again, attack on Cebu. Again, we had nothing. We get 1 kill and a lot of disabled again. This is maybe a little boring, but it will be waste not to bomb the enemy, and it really make it more easy for the army units, the land-based unit, to clean up all these Chinese forces. You can maybe focus all this army stuff also, maybe at least you can try to focus it maybe to use it in Malaya or in Rangoon. But bombing in jungle is never really successful, and bombing a base with a lot of anti-aircraft stuff is also costly, and I would say China first, Singapore first, and Philippines first. These are the main 3 operations for Air Force. And how you split your air units is up to you. It's also a little dependent on the restriction of the air units. Some air units, there are some Chinese air units you really only can use in China, or you must buy them out. But I will buy out the air unit if I fight in China still, so I will keep them in China. All this stuff. So this is I don't say that my tactics are the only working way. There's like everyone can try his own way. It can be more successful, it can be less successful. At the end it's a game to have some fun or maybe learn something new and get this little understanding why maybe in reality also some stuff was not working, or all this. And so of course also matters how the enemy is reacting. I mean, if the Dojo maybe sent all his available fighting forces in China, then I am also forced maybe to scale down my bomber operation and send here more fighters. So it's always it's a act and react. Like in reality, you have a plan, you try your plan, then the enemy will react to your planning or your actions, and then this is always a reaction and action. You must always adjust your plannings and your operations to what's the enemy doing. If you be, you cannot force. I mean, you can try to and say, I do this my way, and I don't care what the enemy is doing. I do it this way, and if you don't react to the enemy, then you will maybe pay the price in blood. Or you try to be smart and always conquer or counter the enemy's actions so good you can. I mean, sometimes, of course, if you like, maybe Dojo have not enough fighter guys, then what he can do? He can only wait. Okay, this is now the 2nd day air attack on the port of Colombo, the bay area, let's say the bay of Colombo. So not the port attack, it's a bay attack. And I think we will run out of torpedoes, so now we can see more and more only dropping bombs. And dropping bombs to hit a destroyer is in combination, the altitude is 8,000. Yeah, this is really a lucky hit if we get anything. And so far, so this is the Dutch destroyer, and our guys only hit the water. At least they hit something, but they only hit the water. Nothing. But I will not skip this because you get a feeling how successful, what is normal, even if this is a really good fighter, guys. A combination of 8,000 altitude, a bomb attack against destroyers, and you can say there is no, the possibility to really hit something with a bomb is not so great. Torpedoes normally have a better chance to hit, but it's always dependent on what you attack. Here, this is a small cargo ship, so it's slow. These destroyers are very fast. They can always move and evade the attack. But you can also see that their flak is very weak. And this is because we fly in 8,000 feet altitude. Normally no machine gun can hit us. Only heavy, I think really only heavy anti-aircraft guns hit 8,000. Even medium anti-aircraft will have trouble. Maybe the later war medium aircraft guns are possible to hit something in 8,000 feet altitude, but now not much flak is here to see. These guys, they have flak, they have heavy machine guns, but the heavy machine guns, I think they go up to 3,000 or 4,000 feet altitude, and after that it's a free run. So we only get a little explosion stuff here. Means we don't suffer much. Yeah, and this is a small cargo ship, already was bombed. Maybe the speed was even, was already slow, and then we slow it down again, and now if something is burning already and slow, or ship is dead in the water, ship is dead in the water is normally without fuel. Ship is dead in the water. So don't ask me why. Don't ask me why these ships have no fuel. I mean, for me it looks like, because I have this with the torpedo boats, and then I also get this information, enemy ship is dead in the water. And then I think this must be like, they're not moving. Any ship normally, if it has fuel and it is under air attack, it will of course try to make some S-line that it's very hard for an airplane to attack. Now we get hits. And you can see the destroyer is not dead in the water. So some ships are dead in the water and some other ships are not. We can see we get a little hit, a little. I mean, compare, you must. We coming here with a lot of stuff. These are let's say 100 bombers make an attack run, and out of 100 only 4 gets damaged. You can also see that the destroyers all evade everything. So we hit no real destroyer, but I think heavy damage, heavy fires. Naja. It's not the most successful airstrike, but at least something. You can see all 8,000 feet. And I don't know, but no, here they don't write with dead in the water. So I don't know why. So what we have here? Oh, the Dauntless. But we attack with bombs. If we had no torpedoes, this would be nice, but somehow all my torpedoes are empty. And now I only try to bomb this cruiser. I don't know. Oh, we get a hit. Okay. Nice. So we can see we penetrate the armor because that light cruiser don't have enough armor against the 250 kilo bomb. Oh, there's also the Enterprise. Okay. Okay. You can see they're all smoking, but I think this is not burning. Ah yeah. So we got one 250 kilogram hit. Little pity. 24 bombers, but only one hit. This guy is now again on. It's not that I don't know. The game say it is not damaged, not even damaged, but it have heavy fires. But the Enterprise is heavy damage, but without fire. Ah yeah. So it is like it is. Yeah, you can see I really scout everything what is possible and what makes sense for me. Now we just got the sound feedback that something sunk, and it's not a. It looks like it's nothing from us, because normally if it's a ship sunk from our own navy, we will get some information here down in the text and tell us which ship sunk. So we get now the information something sunk, but we only know it must be an enemy ship, but I don't know which enemy ship. Here, this is source of Singapore. We just sent this cruiser force to go up and help to finish what is there near Rangoon. And there was a, I think this is a Dutch sub, O20, or it's a British sub, not so sure. But anyway, we hit nothing, so they hit nothing. More unloading. So I think there's nothing more. Yeah, moving resources. Ooh, nothing happened? Oh no. Moving. Okay, so now we arrive at January 12, 1942. This is the end of the battle phase. We can now roughly check what is the situation, but I will not. I will make a setup video for for additional information later on. But let's firstly check what happened here. So our carrier fleet is here, and we running out of torpedoes. You can see this here. No torpedoes more. I can still make a. I have sorties still. I can fly more operations, but only with bombs. But no torpedoes, so I normally would say if I don't have torpedoes more, I better go back. Bombs are okay, but torpedoes are much better. And more important is that I'm running out of fuel. And before I am dead in the water without fuel, I say I come back another day. This is first the mid of January, so we just are in week number 5 of this war, and this war will go maybe 3 years or even more. So I mean, you must risk something to have success. I mean, I am here very near of his one of his major ports. I risk that here are a lot of submarines and other stuff, or that he make an airstrike on our fleet. I risk something, but I keep the distance at maximum because I know that my guys have more range than his guys. So it is hard for him to attack me, and if he attack, he can only use extended range. So he can not use torpedoes normally, only bombs. So I make a calculation, I say I go here, I risk something, but I have the chance that I can hurt him. I block this way, I block the way south of Ceylon, so normally everything won't come here, gets intercepted. And we saw, I sunk some transport, we sunk some other stuff. It was maybe not the most successful stuff, but it is okay. And then I will only go back to Georgetown. But I already sent Dojo the file, so this is already old, more or less. This is more here now to show you what happened. So we can see the carrier fleet was successful, more or less, not crazy successful, but successful. And we're running out of torpedoes. And this is the reason, you can see they all have no torpedoes left. And then I will say, I go back. This is the first information. The other information is that the top submarines, they all tried to catch something, but they had no success. We missed this guy, but they are corvettes. At least information are corvettes, so I don't know. I think this was not the corvettes. If I remember right, we make a strike in this direction, and it was 2 light cruisers, the Enterprise and the Dauntless. Ah yeah. Okay, this is about this carrier. So the carrier is now done. They're going back to rearm. Means 1 week, then they're ready again and go out to make the next strike. We will see where we go, but now it's first over. The other information is what happened with our 2 heavy cruisers. I sent them to, in this port is only a port 2, so not very big, but the main purpose is to get rid of the fire. And we can see our heavy cruisers arrived here, and they get rid of the fire. So fire is down, they can start now to repair. And means more or less the cruisers will not sink more. Once you are in the port and there's no fire, you cannot, I mean the system damage will not increase more. So it is now safe. You can now say stand down, pier side. This will need now a half year to fix. And we can fix everything except this major damage. So it is possible to fix all this damage in any port, but of course a bigger port will be faster. And we can also not fix damaged components. So if there's a torpedo tube is damaged or a machine gun is damaged, then also this needs normally a shipyard or at least a repair ship. This is the reason why I sent a repair ship. I think first because I had no repair ship in Saigon, so I sent a repair ship to Saigon. After it arrived in Saigon, I will make a action fleet or a fleet, send it to Georgetown, and then from Georgetown I will try to enter this base to support and fix these cruisers faster up. And after they have less damage, I will go maybe to Georgetown with all of these guys. So because Georgetown is already a port 4, and maybe at the same time Singapore is cleaned up, and then I can go to the shipyard of Singapore, and then we can fix everything here. But to conclude, we can say I mean, I can do this all, but it's now meaningless. I send them all to stand down. Then we can check here. You can see again, if it's a red, means there is some damage, cannot repair. And you can see the days it needs to fix the damage. So this 4 damage cannot fix. And here this 3 damage cannot fix. And also this cannot fix, because this is components and need a shipyard. The destroyers can fix, and we can see this destroyer need 13 days to fix this little stuff. But most important is the cruisers are not lost. We lost in this engagement from last turn really only 1 destroyer. Yeah, this heavy cruisers will be, let's say, 90 days, at least 90 days, 3 months. This guy maybe 3 months, this guy maybe 4 or 5 months out of action. This will hurt or limited our actions. We lost 1 cruiser fleet more or less for 3 months. But after 3 months we get them back. So this is the updated information here. Nothing else normally happened. I'm moving my forces to meet up in Johor Bahru, and if everything arrived I can make the strike to Singapore. We will also I set up a strike against Rangoon with my army forces. I shifted some pilots to get better pilots here, and normally the airport is still not ready, it's still not a 4. Normally I like to have a 4 if I really want to make an air fight, but we will see how this play out in the next battle phase. But I give the command to start the air war in Rangoon, and then we will see how successful it is. And here is not much happening. We kick him out to the next location, so I will move north and try to engage again. We are ready to strike him here next turn. And we are ready to strike here. I move some units here source to get more fighting power here, because still 30,000 and 30,000. So, and I think there was more, but I don't know. Before it was 50 and 30. Anyway, we have to clean up these guys. We have to clean up these guys and then make a decision. We also will strike here and see how easy we can defend this unit, but this is next turn. Also, these guys are we have to move east, and because there was an army, I think this was the second army. So now both armies are completely here. They link up, so I can now tell them, okay, move east. But there's a river, so we must be a little carefully. So I don't know. This needs 1 or 2 turns to enter the next hex, and I don't know. Maybe he will already left this hex. So, but we will move this road up to this hex, and after I arrive here, we will see what happened. Okay, and nothing more else happened here. I mean, no, only bombardment. So there was no action here, there was only action here. We kick him out here, or I mean, he give up. So maybe I will rest one day, or I will move immediately to Clarkfield. We will see. And this is only some conquer the small base here, conquer a small base here, conquer a small base here. Nothing really happened. I ship more stuff to Rabaul to build up the airfield, build up the port. We need the port and the airfield here, and prepare my units. Rest, training, port Moresby, and then strike here. Okay. And the submarine stuff, I think he attacked one of our submarines. Let's see. Yeah, he gets a little damage. I will send this guy back, I think, to repair. And yeah. So, this is the overall situation. We can shortly check here again. In this turn, the enemy lost 5 airplanes and we lost 0. 26 are destroyed on the field. This is more or less, I think, sunk. Because destroyed on the field also means sunk on the transport ship. But we can see we lost 3 by flak. Can happen. And operational losses. Means the guys gets hit by flak or whatever. They try to return, but they make a crash landing. And out of this, we can see now 2 pilots are wounded, so after some time they can re-enter service, and 6 are dead. Okay. And the last stuff is maybe sunk ship, so we can check Japanese lost last turn, nothing. Okay. Allies lost last turn, etc. Heavy cruiser with over 8,000 tons, dead. I mean, we saw this guy go down. And I don't know, the game also says that Enterprise and Dauntless sunk. We got the information that something sunk. I mean, we only hear the sound, so I know something sunk, but I don't know if it's really these 2 guys. Can be also something else. I mean, you can see official, we have 1 heavy cruiser, 2 light cruisers, 1 good transport guy, 1 so-so transport guy in some cargo ship, and 2 corvettes and some other stuff. So it's not crazy, because this is the heavy cruiser sunk by our cruiser formation, and this is, I think, sunk all by our second carrier fleet. So, I mean, at least we sunk something. Okay, now it's enough. I will make a setup run maybe tomorrow or later in the day. I hope you had fun, and you can compare this with Dojo's combat video and see what he is talking and what he can show you, and then you get from both sides some feedback and compare it, and then you have a better overview. I wish you all the best. See you again. Take care. Bye bye.